Okay, kind of like each week here, recapping a couple of thoughts offensively, 10 possessions, I think we scored 7 times on those 10. I did think, again, watching the tape, Aiden did a solid job, completing passes, eyes up, smart with the ball, another good game running it. But in general, run game, we got to get better, first and second down. You always credit to the opponent schematically, a couple of those, but we got to break a couple tackles, one on with the safety casually, misidentification took place too many times, and we're just not getting the type of movement we want to get, so we got to improve on that in the run game. Defensively, I thought did a nice job of stopping the run. These guys were leading the country and running the ball, especially with the quarterback, his capabilities of running it. Did like that part, except on the long 66-yard play, I want to say. First of all, we're misaligned. Unique formation, give them some credit. We're misaligned. We haven't got anyone in the B gaps. We're not aligned correctly in the secondary. We've got opportunity to at least get them down. It's going to be a 30-yard play. We can't do that. So we got to get better there. It was good to have Nikai Martinez back. Getting a taste of it. He played, maybe half of it. So it was great to see him out there. We do want to continue to improve though. Fourth down, third down on that side. Special teams continues to be a positive. Obviously, a huge return from Omari. I think the blocking on the thing, the decision making on the punt return unit was critical. Martin had a solid game. Actually, only goes out there one time, and that's usually a good thing. With that, recapping the game. Injury-wise, this was kind of a couple tough ones. Luka Vincic will be a long-term injury. Probably won't see him the rest of the year, which is tough. Was battling in there. Olante actually again was pre-game injury, and that's going to be a longer-term injury as well. So he won't be around for a minute. Both Nick Marsh and Mekhi Frazier, we'll kind of see what it looks like at the end of the week. But those two are not anywhere near the other two in regards to the amount of time. 3-0 is where we wanted to be at. It has been great being at Spartan Stadium 3 straight weeks. Crowd, fan, that definitely helped us get to this point. But the seasons are in transition. We got to go on the road for the first time. And, we got a big time opponent. Got respect for the program over there, historic. And you can talk about all 3 phases for this group. They challenge you in a lot of ways. Offensively, it's well noted statistically where they're at, how many points they're scoring. Quarterback can make all the throws. The scheme, Coach Riley, in regards to his scheme, make it tough. He is throwing it. Quarterback is throwing it to a couple good players that challenge you vertically in space, tough to tackle. They can run the ball. The backs that are carrying the thing get downhill and are physical. So that is a potent offense that will present challenges. I do think defensively, these guys are salty, got in the backfield a lot. It starts with their front 7. And that's just not 7 guys. They do a nice job, especially at D-line, rotating. You're getting multiple groups in there. It's not just 7 guys for the entire game. They got some depth, and they've created some real havoc of tackling and backfield sacks. So they present challenges kind of that way. So we know it's a great test. Long trip, night game, all those things that come with it with a really good opponent. And I know guys are going to need a great week of preparation to get ready for it. So with that, questions?
Start with Matt.
Jonathan, you guys obviously made a trip out to Oregon last year. What did you learn from that, and how do you change things for this one, go out there earlier, just any sort of tweaks?
Yeah, we did definitely learn from the year one. We did, last year's trip's quite, different just because it was a short week, right? We played on Friday night. That's different than what we're doing here Saturday. Not just from our own experience, we try to talk around the league. Teams that have traveled multiple time zones, what they did, kind of what they experienced. So the tweaks we're making, we're going to go out on Thursday. And again, this has been planned well before knowing the kickoff time and things. But go out Thursday, try to adjust for a day, time zone wise. And the routine of what we do on Friday and Saturday is going to be pretty similar to what we do. We're just going to start a little bit later, let them sleep in on those 2 nights, and see where it goes.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the injury situations too, now that we get to this point in the year. You talk about next man up when you get to conference season. Those nagging injuries, how do you try and prevent them? And obviously with the bye week coming the week after, is there an erring on the side of caution at all in some ways?
Right, it kind of starts with how much you're going to practice and go. And so, we talk about as a staff each week leading into it. And so I don't know if there's one size fits all for the entire team in regards to how much you go out and work. I think it boils down a lot of times to the position coach, maybe count his reps, that particular player's got some bumps and bruises, and he maybe be more in a limited fashion, understanding that the team still needs some work. And we get a lot of work with calling 2s, 3s throughout the week. It's not just all the starters getting all the work. But we got our eyes on that. Yeah, sure, we're headed toward a bye, and you gotta put some preparation and thought into what that week looks like. But I'll also understand this will be our 4th straight game, we went 5 straight weeks of camp, and so you're always adjusting what you think is best in your preparation.
Jonathan, you already talked about the routine of it, but from like an unofficial team building aspect, normally if it's a home game, the guys can go home afterwards and have their own personal day-to-day, but when you're together for that amount of time, long trip, can you give us some insight on what the team building aspect is like, or how you guys find more of a bond in that kind of experience?
Yeah, I guess one thing is pseudo unique because of the trip. We are headed on Thursday, go over there. I think with a lot of this roster, maybe, I say maybe, I didn't take roll on this, but you hadn't seen the Pacific Ocean. Where we're staying, we're landing at LAX, we're gonna call it a half hour and be able to kind of see the Pacific Ocean. I do think a longer flight, to spend a little time moving around. We're gonna take that opportunity on Thursday. Not quite a total team building event, but that's one thing we're doing that's different or unique.
Great, thanks for that.
The USC quarterback, Jaden Maybe, only had 2 offers that come out of high school. I know you were out west at the time, so I'm curious, how did that happen for a guy with his talent to only have a couple schools looking? And then for Aiden, how good of a test is he going to be as a quarterback to look against a pretty good talent?
Yeah, I think both quarterbacks are talented. I think you do see it on occasion, right? They call it, you know, the amount of offers, or this guy should have had more coming out and things. I think sometimes too, it's just that they're throwing individuals' development. It takes place, call it year 1 as a true freshman, he's further ahead of the game and all this. Jaden, this guy can play. I believe he started, beating and got himself over there. But he is a talented player, physical, willing runner too. I mean, I know statistically throwing the ball, he's accurate, he's got some guys he's throwing to, but he's a willing runner, he's gonna pull the ball, especially in the red zone. He's a really good player.
And Jonathan, last year, you're 3-0, you go play a tough road game at night, game 4, Nick isn't there, had a lot of other injuries, lost a tough one. How is this year's team better able to prepare for that if you're minus some key guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this year, depth-wise, I do feel like we've made progressed, I'll call it. The learning experiences of every game from last year, just like the learning experience for the first 3 here. This is a challenging road environment, trip, and a really good team, where depth's gonna continue to matter. And that's not just to us. I mean, you look at this Big Ten conference every game. I don't know if anyone's sitting here after 3 games feeling awesome, and they got some mid-season healthy bumps and bruises. You gotta have some depth, and I think we're in a better place than we were a year ago.
John, and obviously you guys played a pretty good offense in Boston College, I'd say, and you beat one last week. With this USC offense and their personnel and their scheme, what are the things, a couple things for you that have defensive priorities that sort of have to happen to keep them in check and stop putting up some of these big numbers?
I mean, yeah, these numbers come, and their ability to be explosive, right? And so trying to limit those explosives is a big piece. I think tackling is going to be huge. They get the ball in space. They're good athletes. Get them on the ground. That's not down to just one-on-one tackling. We got to play a great effort and get guys on the ground and not turn it into deep explosive plays when they throw underneath or they hand the thing off, limiting those explosives. And then changing your looks on the quarterback. They do have a potent run game as well, but changing those looks of what he's seeing on the back end coverage loss.
Jonathan, there are a lot of storylines coming into this game. I mean, it's first time since 1978 where Michigan State's playing at USC. Battle of 2 3-0 teams, Big Ten opener. Can you kind of explain what this game means, not just to you, but to the program as a whole?
Well, I think it definitely starts conference play. This is a new day and age in the Big Ten, the second year of the West Coast part. So some of these traditions are starting that hadn't taken place, right? Gone over that far. I think it creates excitement. It's unique. I think it energizes the fan bases on both sides. That place is a historic spot. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, I mean, it's been around a while. The Olympics, Jackie Robinson, the Dodgers are playing there. I mean, it's a cool venue, and so I think that all adds to the excitement of the game.
Yeah, following up on that, Michigan State's won 3 in a row against USC, but has never won in the Coliseum. You did 3 years ago, I think you put 45 up on it. What do you tell the players about that, and it can be kind of a circus?
Yeah, I think again, it still comes out of the game. We are gonna prep, anytime we go to a place, road game, we're gonna give them a little bit of information, background on what travel, the place, the setup, what the locker room's like. There's similarities to Spartan Stadium. We're gonna share a tunnel, play on grass, it's pseudo bowl, just similar to Spartan Stadium. We'll talk through all of that. The deep history and things, I think it still comes down to the 60 minutes we're gonna play, and we're gonna have a huge emphasis on that.
A little bit along those lines as well, you're obviously from the Pasadena area, Aiden's from Long Beach. I'm wondering about just the trip back there. I mean, you've made it before, and I'm wondering what that is like to go back home and play there.
There's definitely, Aiden in particular, I think we got a few guys, but Aiden in particular will have a lot of family and friends at the game, which is part of the cool thing in college football. I'm excited about it. I mean, I made a trip in January watching our basketball team play the 2 LA schools, and we had a couple events of Spartans on the West Coast, Spartans in Southern California. I'm excited to see the contingent of green and white in the crowd.
Jonathan, you mentioned the idea of seeing what guys can do during the week and, waiting until the end of the week. Are there certain players who, whether they've been around for a long time or what they bring to the team, and you just, if they're good, they need to be able to do less during the week? In other words, you love to have them practice, but if somebody's good on Friday, then they're good.
Yeah, 100%. Some of that's just kind of what they've proven before, knowing the guy. Oftentimes it's a veteran, he's gotten a lot of reps. Does he need a full week of practice? Those kind of things. And so it's really each individual basis on deciding on that. And so, I'm good if Nick Marsh, he takes a whole limited week, but if he's cleared to go and play, he probably still go.
Closing things down, third down was kind of a plan in the offseason, and it seems to have had some progress. And then last week, I think Youngstown State had a few where they converted when you guys probably wanted to get a stop there. So I'm curious, what are the issues you're seeing on third down, and how do you sort of address those going into Big Ten play when that's kind of where you're going to make the money?
Yeah, but especially on third down, we looked at it third, kind of call it medium. We got to play tighter coverage, whether that comes from a lack of recognition of the down distance, where, our conference level, we did talk about that, contesting more on those downs, to where we're making plays on the ball. Oftentimes in that distance, ball's coming out quick and all of those things, so we want to contest more, some tighter coverage.
John, I'm wondering, as you go into Big Ten play now, would you anticipate the frequency of offensive line rotation continuing, or would that be dialed back? Of course, Luka, you're limited now, so there's other factors. I'm just wondering, as a conference season, will that be the same as what we saw in the non-conference?
I don't think it'll be exactly the same. It begins to get, lessened. I still see us rotating. We'll kind of see where it goes at the end of the week. Luka being out, you're not going to see as much at guard. But at the tackle spot, you might see some. But I think you'll recognize me a little bit less, is my anticipation this Saturday.
Just a little clarification on something. Is there any lower body, upper body for Nick and Kai and the other guys?
Yeah, lower. All 4 of those guys are lower. Yeah.
More questions? Jen, right there.
A little more on the offensive line. Rustin Young got some reps. How's he coming along? How's he?
Yep, it was good to get him out there. He's got the skill set and athleticism. I think there was a little bit of a couple plays learning curve wise, needed to be a better page, but I think that guy's got a bright future. Redshirt freshman, continues to work, and I thought he did some solid things on Saturday. We'll see what this coming Saturday kind of looks like on that rotation side, but was pleased with Rustin getting in.
And Luke Lafayette, they made a nice play at the very end of the game. How's he coming along with that
Yep.
role that he has?
We think he's one of our better ones of rushing the passer, and so love to get him out there. He plays with great effort. He's contributing on special teams. He's part of that rotation, that position. I think we had another time 4 guys getting 10+ snaps, and so when he's in the game, I think he makes an impact. We like where he continues to trend.
One other thing, some teams practice in the morning, some in the afternoon, and so forth. When you make that decision to go in the morning, are you in the back of your mind? Are you concerned that television might give you a midnight game later in the year. Not, when you practice Thursday and walk through Friday or whatever out there, do you change the clock a little bit for the routine?
The routine of it, the Thursday, Friday, well, not totally Thursday, because we're gonna practice again in the morning. Here, Friday, we'll bump it back a little bit. It is a larger question. You think about it, we're playing more and more of these, the trend, more and more of these night games to consideration. I still think the value when we're gonna get the best work done, and I still believe it's in the morning. We're not terribly early in the morning, so we're allowing for some sleep. I think we get the best work out of them. We wake them up, they still have an opportunity to get to class. And this is a whole kind of programmatic thought for the entire season, the body of work, those kind of things. And so, I can't look at it, I don't even think we're allowed. We have to like petition to be able to practice at our kickoff time. They don't even allow you to practice anything past 10 p.m.
Wrap it up here, Jack, or get
I just, do you seek from your coaching friends about taking a team west, and what's your biggest concern? Is it potential lethargy or the time change, or what is the biggest concern about traveling west?
Going west, obviously, the wake up and the staying up late. I do think Justin, these guys are night owls, right? I mean, so we're gonna be up late and going, we'll let them sleep in for a couple of days and let it rip. They're gonna be excited to play. It's gonna be an awesome atmosphere. So we did talk about just a couple of nights to get a little bit of adjustment Thursday, Friday before the Saturday kick, and let's go let it rip.
So is it a little overrated, do you think?
I don't know this for certain. I am looking at scores, for East Coast teams kicking off at 7:30 Pacific. The win-loss record of that, I don't know if it's outstanding. I'm sure it's the vice versa too, but they're dealing with it coming the other way, West Coast going to the east.
Jonathan, two things following up on that. Michigan State hasn't won a game west of Boulder, Colorado since 1957. And when you think about some of the teams that have gone out there, they're pretty talented, but that's true for a lot of Big Ten teams, strong programs. Is there something that you as a coach can do about that, or is it just you gotta play the guys you got and see what happens?
Well, yeah, you got to play. Again, we're going to give them some history. I don't know how deep it still comes down to us in those 60 minutes. I think you do present some of the challenges that we want to prepare for, like this time change and the hydration of it and the sleep pattern. That we put together a plan. Our dietitians presented the team yesterday and some proactive things we can do. So we are taking some steps that way, give them a little bit of history and reasons why this stuff is important. And then I still go back to we're going to kick it off at 8 Pacific and let it rip.
One other big picture thing, you're the first Michigan State coach to start 3-0 back-to-back years. When you see though now around the country, it seems like patience is less than it has been. Somebody gets fired 3 games into second year. Does that change the way that coaches need to approach the job in 2025?
I think the job is just like college football. It's ever evolving, and the landscape continues to change in those things. It still comes down to, I don't know if it adds some urgency. I think about me, our staff. I mean, we're overly competitive, trying to, again, compete and win all the time. I don't know if that's really changed our thinking anyway.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.